In this tutorial for Map-O-Matic, I'll show you how to create a file or a map from a file. So first of all, I will open a text file which has already been created and show you how that needs to look. This is a text file of locations on the Pacific Crest Trail in California. The Pacific Crest Trail also goes through Oregon and Washington, so it's from the US-Mexico border to the US-Canada border, but I'm just focusing on the locations in California that are resupply towns or trail towns where hikers can go and buy a meal and resupply, restock on whatever they need, water and such. Notice first, there's a tilde after a color. You don't have to have that, but if you do, add the name of one of the 15 colors that Map-O-Matic knows about. It will make the push pin that color. And there's two types of entries you can make. One contains the coordinates, such as this one, where you've got, in every case, you're going to have the location, definition, description, something about it that you will see when you hover over that location. Whatever you want it to say, whatever information you think is necessary. You always have that. Then there's the latitude, separated by a semicolon, as all the values are separated by semicolons. And then the longitude. The other type that's possible is, instead of the coordinates, you're providing the address. So you got the location, information, you've got the street address, which is not a required value. You've got the city, which is a required value. You've got the state or country, if it's not the United States, which is a required value. And you've got the zip code or postal code, which is not a required value. So as an example, let me show you this, what this entry could be if I stripped it down. It doesn't have to have the color. You don't have to designate that. You can do it later if you want to change, make the push pin a certain color after the fact. You can do that, and I'll show that in a different tutorial. The street address is not required. It helps, but it's not required. City is required, there it is. State is required, there it is, or country. Zip code or postal code, not required. But what is required are the semicolons. So even though I didn't provide an address in this case, I did provide the addresses, semicolon. Same thing with the zip code. So there must be two semicolons when you're providing the coordinates, which separate the location from the latitude and the latitude from the longitude. And it must have 4 when supplying address information: after location, after address, even if it's empty, after city, after state or country, and then that leaves the zip code not there. So this is a hybrid text file. You could have a text file with all coordinates. You could have a text file with all addresses. This one has both. Some of the entries are coordinates, some of the entries are addresses. So now we'll open up the Map-O-Matic and show what you would do then. And go to File, the File menu, and select Create New Map and Locations from File. And it tells you about that if you need a hint of what to do if you didn't watch this video, for example, or you just need to be reminded. It gives examples of providing the address of a location and the same location, but providing the coordinates instead. Either one would work. Would find Mark Twain's boyhood home there in Hannibal, Missouri, although he was born in Florida, Missouri. So then you open the file, the semicolon separated value file, which could be it could have the extension SCSV, such as you see here. I have several text files with that extension. In this case, I did not change the extension, so I'll look in the text files, txt files. There it is. That's the one we just looked at. PCTCA resupply towns.txt. Open that, and it tells me that a map with that name already exists. Well, that's true, it does. So it's going to delete the old one and then add back the new one in case I made any changes. In this case, it's exactly the same, but it's just to show you how it works. So I say, yes, go ahead, continue with replacing the old with the new. And then depending on how many locations there are, it could take a while. It could take several seconds before all those locations are provided. And there they are. It puts all the push pins on in their respective locations in the colors you told it to. If you did that, you see that there's so many that a lot of them are covered up by others. So to actually get down to the nitty gritty, so to speak, you'd have to zoom in on it, which you can do with your mouse wheel, or if you don't want to, or you don't have a mouse wheel, you can do it with zoom level to go out or in, zoom out or in. And then once you do that, you can see some of this, the definition or description. Bishop at mile 789, 1. Reds Meadow, Mammoth Lakes, Tuolumne Meadows, etc. So that's how you create a map from a file in Map-O-Matic. Further episodes of this exciting series will tell you how to do everything else that's it's possible to do in Map-O-Matic.